best thing. I mean, but we've done a great job. You know, you got to win games you're supposed to win, and so we've done a good job of that. And you know, we've just been solid and didn't really make mistakes. If we do that, then if you're better, then you should end up winning the game. So, you know, they've been down probably, I would think, those last 12 games or whatever we played them. Well, I mean, it's really big, and St. Mary's, you know, for them is down, but you know, they just swept St. Edwards at St. Edwards, so they've sort of been up and down a little bit, and hopefully they're on the downward spiral on Tuesday, and then go back up. That'd be great, but you know, they've been down, and then Eastern. Hate playing teams coming off of a little consecutive losing streak because it's just baseball, and it's tough to lose a lot in a row, and it's tough to win a lot in a row. And we've already played them, and they're definitely a really good team. You know, we had to do everything we could to win 3 out of 4 here. So, and going to Portales is always tough. I think the weather is going to be a factor. So. This is a big week for us, and, you know, 4 of the 5 are against teams above 500, and that's big. 4 of them are on the road, and then St. Mary's, you know, very easy. I think they're in 2nd or 3rd place in their conference. So, you know, could be a team that gets hot and ends up finishing real well. Traditionally, they're very good. Yeah, it was like 69 pitches. But, well, what I hoped to do was be up by 10 runs after 3 or 4 innings and get him out. We were going to let him go about 70, 75, but he ended up throwing a complete game at that number. But the score of that game, I mean, if it had been a 9-inning game, he still would have been going because we needed to win. And but he was great, you know, and that's the one thing that Matt is very efficient, you know, gets a lot of ground balls, throws a lot of strikes. And that's important. It saves your bullpen, especially game 1 of a series, not having to go to it. Just makes you stronger for games 2 and 3 and 4 or however long you play. Well, yeah, but I thought it'd be like that after year 1. So, you know, it's good, and everything's cyclical. I mean, I hope it stays like this forever. I'm probably, you know, that's really hard to do. I mean, good programs go through their valleys and their highs. Right now we're on a good run, you know, and you know, we're just trying to keep it and do more. I mean, we still have not achieved what the goal is, and that's to win a national championship. And you know, till we do that, then there's still a lot of work to be done. Well, we're good. You know, the one thing our guys do, they put together competitive at bats pretty consistently, and then we're able to do a lot of different things. You know, we can handle the bat, so we can lay down a bunt, we can hit and run. We got guys that can run, so speed's a factor. But then we also have power. You know, and just the totality, I would say, of the lineup, just 1 through 9, you just don't get a break, you know, and so it grates on a pitcher and it makes it hard. And I think everybody benefits. You know, middle of the order or top of the order, we're good, but we may not be just light years above other teams, but as you extend it and go down, you don't get a break. And so, you know, there have been tons of games this year where our 7, 8, 9 have been 8 for 11 with, you know, 6 RBIs. So we can win, but we don't have to have one person hot, you know. That's the thing. I always, as a coach, when one guy sort of is your guy, your go-to guy, I always worry about that because, you know, if the other team shuts that down, it really limits your offense. Whereas if somebody shuts down one of our guys or two of our guys, we still have several others that can help us win. And so our guys work hard at it. And, like I say, we're a different team this year than we've been in the past. We're probably better offensively and probably not as deep as we've been on the mound. And so got to find different ways to win. Well, that's great, and I was one of those bench players because I sucked. I know the spot those guys are in, and they work just as hard as everybody else, and it's no fun sitting over there when you'd rather be playing, and to be a good teammate, to keep contributing to the team when things are not going the way you want them, but you put the team ahead of yourself, and that's true with all those guys. And we're getting into the part of the year where you never know what's going to happen injury-wise. Last year, we played in the playoffs, in the regional, in the World Series. We played 4 or 5 different lineups just due to injuries. And so, that's why you have a team, is those guys. But them buying in and just being great people and great teammates, it makes me really happy to see those guys have the success they're having. And then now that gives us more options, So anytime that can happen, it's good for the team, it's good for the individual, and like I say, makes me smile.
Well, you try not to think about it too much, but when you sit back and you look, and we'll go 44-4 is our record playing in this part of the country. That's pretty impressive, and I'm very proud of what these girls have accomplished. But even though we're 44-4, we're clinging on to a conference lead, and our goal is to try to win a conference championship. And we have 2 huge weekends ahead of us in conference play with Commerce, and then go to Cameron. So we still have a lot of work in front of us to be able to bring home that 7th conference championship. But I think our team will be up and prepared for the challenge. Well, it's everybody's going to play better at home. It's just where you're at every day, and you're familiar with everything. You don't have to travel, all that good stuff. But our crowd is a big advantage for us. We have a huge following here. They're very passionate about Angelo State softball, and it when you start to get a little tired or things start to go a little wrong, to be able to hear that energy out of that crowd gives you that little extra energy shot that you need. And our crowd's done an outstanding job all year being there for our players. Well, that's the way we're taking it. We've got a 2-game lead right now, but if we could figure out a way to get 3 on Commerce this weekend, that'd be huge. That would mean that we would only have to go to Cameron and win 1 game, but getting 3 off Commerce is going to be a big challenge. They're a very talented team. They've already stolen 165 bases, I think, and hit 50-something home runs, so a team that really can put runs on the board. And we're going to have to be extremely sharp this weekend, and use that home field advantage, hopefully, to be able to find a way to get 3. But if we drop 1 there, we got to go to Cameron Place and win 2 out of 3 to at least share the title, and try to get 3 out of 3 there if we have to. Ultimately, if we can go 6-0 on the weekend, then we know that we've won it outright, and that'd be an outstanding way to finish this season and top off just a remarkable year in the regular season. But like I said, that's going to be a big challenge ahead of us, and we got 2 really talented athletic teams ahead of us. Well, there's a couple of different factors. First and foremost, our pitching staff has just been phenomenal each and every day. That's the reason why we're 44-4. Secondly, we get the wind blowing in a lot. So that's going to hurt some batting averages and some power numbers when you constantly have that wind blowing in at 15, 16 miles an hour. And even when we gone on the road here the last second half of the season, the wind's blown in. So that hurts, and there's some home runs that have been robbed from us from the wind, and it's just a little bit of a different mindset. Our team has done a really good job with it. Playing at our place. I know it's going to be blowing in again this Wednesday, about 16 miles an hour. I think Saturday we may get it blowing out for the first time in really over a month and a half that we've been on the field with the wind blowing out. So, the batting average is going to, when the outfielders have to play deeper, when that wind's blowing out and all that, it's hard. It's easier to get balls to drop in that you don't hit well, and and it's easier to come in the outfield when that wind's blowing in and take away some line drive base hits and some bloopers, and so those things have play a lot of effect on batting averages, and I think that's part of the reason why you see some of the averages that on our team that have dropped a little bit is because, I mean, seriously, the last month and a half we hadn't played a game yet with the wind blowing out. Well, you know, it's been a good class. You know, they've worked hard, they've kept their head up, and they hadn't won a ring yet, and that's something that they would love nothing. I would love nothing more to give them on the way out as a conference championship ring, if not a regional championship ring, and hopefully a national championship ring. But you know, they've kept their head down. They've battled through some adversity. They've seen some teammates come and go over the last 3.5 years, and you know, and we went into it with the mindset this year that it's time to make things right, and you know, they've done a good job of kind of showing the way and allowing our young kids to go in and use their ability and their talent, you know, by using the upperclassmen as leaders, and you know, hopefully they reap the rewards out of this thing with a conference championship, and you know, every team that comes down through here, every class that comes through here wants to put a banner on that field, or you know, walk out of here to the ring, and this is going to be their opportunity to do it. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet, but you know, to do it your senior year would be a nice way to go out.